Well, my friends, family, esteemed colleagues, I have to take a sip before this one. Okay, that's a plasma. So, this is video about sleep paralysis. I was recently asked a question about it. So, we are in a time of awakening to truth. And as this happens, uh, we are going to have, and we already have, more and more instances of people waking up in the morning and not being able to move. They feel like paralyzed. Nothing is moving. And it takes a little bit before they can actually start. The best is then to start moving fingers and toes first, and then and move the whole body. Now, what is causing this problem? This doctors are calling it sleep paralysis because nothing is wrong with the body. It's just, and it doesn't happen frequently. It's occasional. So, and not with everybody. People that meditate, they experience this more often. And people that do astral traveling, they have their out-of-body experiences, or being in what they call the fifth projection, they also experience this more often or quite frequently. Now, why? What is happening here? I explained that our body is actually an electromagnetic robot. So that is driven by consciousness. Now, this consciousness, when it is in a robot, it is disconnected from the creative consciousness of what we call creator, God, whatever. Purpose of it is so it can have full experience of the game that the creative consciousness created. We are part of also this creative consciousness and creators, but when we are in this robot, we are not supposed to be aware of the whole picture. So we don't change it because we would be changing the movie as we are trying to experience it, and we would never actually experience what we have created in a quantum field. So we don't have the full awareness. Now, very often happens that when we are sleeping, that consciousness is restless and it leaves the body and has its experiences as a soul, as a spirit. And then it returns back into the body when body is ready to wake up and continues its experience as a human or as an animal or as a plant or as a rock. It's all the same. So, or similar. So, what happens with this phenomenon that you wake up and actually you cannot move? You're aware of yourself, but nothing is working. You feel like paralyzed. Well, this is because the consciousness has left, and then it came back when you woke up, but it did not anchor itself yet. It's like you getting into the car, but you did not really start it yet. You just hop in it. You know you're in the car, but you can get the even first gear on and push the gas pedal, but nothing moves because you didn't start the engine yet. You didn't actually assume driver's position. So this is what happens in the body. It doesn't last long. It's short, but it could be scary. People that frequently have out-of-body experiences, they have more frequently this thing happening to them. Now, we are always in the impression when we are listening to other people, to channelers even, but other people, we are in the impression that the soul, spirit, never sleeps. It doesn't need sleep. So when the body is sleeping because it's supposed to regenerate, because it's a machine, has to regenerate. Like we have to take a car to a fuel pump and then we have to check oil and we have to do other things. Well, this is what body does every night. Every time we go to sleep, this is what happens. And we are under the impression that every time this happens, that the soul leaves the body because it's bored. It's not going to sit there and wait. And then it comes back when time is to wake up. Now, if that is so, then how is it possible that we may dream we are sleeping, but we are dreaming and we are moving the body, or we are sleepwalking? Well, this means that the soul did not leave. Soul is there in the body as body is being regenerated. And it's playing with the mind, it is creating, and this is the dream. And since soul is there, you can move the body. So assuming that every time we sleep, the soul has left the body, this is a wrong assumption. Because if the soul leaves the body cannot move. Every time you meditate and you leave the body with meditation, you don't have to. But if you leave the body through meditation and your experience, your body is frozen. It doesn't move. It cannot move. Because without the driver, it doesn't move. It is alive because there is what we call the silver cord that is connecting the robot with the soul. If the silver cord is cut, the body dies. Because, again, the whole thing, the body, everything we see, is a product of consciousness. Consciousness has to constantly support it. But it does not have to constantly be in the driver's seat. So when the robot is being fixed, the consciousness is still controlling it. It's connected to it. But it is not in the driver's seat. And this is the difference. Now we are in the awakening process. And people are becoming more and more interested in the spiritual aspect of life. Religion and spirituality are completely two different things. Spirituality is the connection with the soul, with everything. Religion is a book of laws to control society, where spirituality is used as an instrument of control. So different things. When somebody says that they are not religious, it doesn't mean that they don't believe in God. They could be atheist. That's a different thing. They don't believe in God. But not being religious doesn't mean to be atheist. I'm not religious, but I'm not atheist. I'm spiritual. I believe in God, but not biblical God, not God of Torah, not God of Islam, because those are human versions of Creator with all its problems and faults. Whenever religious human says, "Oh, in the name of God, I'm conquering," or "in the name of Allah, I'm conquering," you're not doing it in the name of Allah or God. You're doing it in your own name, because God's message is love, unity. I should not kill. So there's much to talk about religion. I don't want to go there, but here you have to understand that body is electronic robot. Without soul, or spirit, whatever you want to call it, soul is a spirit with purpose. So in our body, we have, when it's in our body, it's a soul because it is following a program, following the game. When it's out of the body, away, it's a spirit because it has freedom to do whatever. In the body, it has to follow the game. Everything is scripted. Day of birth, day of death, major events, they're all there for us to experience and to transmit our experiences to the consciousness of Creator to learn from. So when we say God knows everything, it's not true. God knows only what we have experienced so far. There are many things we are still going to be experiencing, which if we would know, we would not have to experience. So things are different than what we think they are. And how do I know this? Well, it just makes it obvious. Very often I hear from channelers some statement which is incorrect. So how can channel spirit from outside that gives message be incorrect? Well, because the experience was either not there or was misinterpreted. One of the errors was that the grain is a food of God. It's not. Grain is actually toxic. We should not eat it. But there are other instances where information that comes from within is incorrect. Nobody knows the full truth, and even the Creator knows only the truth of what has been, not of what's coming. This is why each new game is more sophisticated, because it's based on previous experiences of what was good, trying eliminating what was not so good, and improving. So I'm mentioning this sleep paralysis so people do not freak out, because it is going to be happening to more and more people. people that have out-of-body experiences and have had these experiences of frozen bodies in the morning, they are familiar with it. They're not afraid. They know what's going on. So I'm just sharing this to people that stumble on my work and my followers that follow my work, to be prepared and to understand what happens, so they're not afraid. So this happens. Oh, okay. Let me move my toes, my fingers. All right, I'm ready to go. There's no problem. It's not a health issue. It is simply a little miscalculation. Spirit open eyes before actually it got ready to drive. So you start getting cautious. And I also always thought that opening the eyes, blinking, is where the least power from the heart has to come to do. So on low energy, you can do this. But now when I remember my experience, we learn from experiences. This is where truth comes from. When I was operated on without painkiller, because my anesthesiologist was a junkie, so he put me the heparin. Actually, he gave me the spasmolytic so I cannot move, to freeze me. But then the analgesic he took for himself to get high. And I could not move, but I could hear everything. I could hear doctors talking with nurses and joking what movie they're going to watch and what's going to be happening later on when they go, and will they have problems with wife or whatever, children. I could understand, hear all this. I can feel them touching me. When they touch me, when they open the area where they're going to make a cut. And it was exploratory surgery after my motorcycle accident when I was 28 years old. And I could not move. I could not open my eyes. I could not move I was intubated for breathing, but I could not move fingers, toes, nothing. I was paralyzed. It was a tubocuraline that they put into me. And then when the pain was really excruciating, not when they cut you, when they stitch you, that's baloney pain, it's nothing. Even though when they open the muscles and put pressure, even then, but when they start shoveling your guts around, when they start moving them to see, there are so many sensory nerves there. The pain was excruciating. So I tried to let them know that, I can feel everything, but I cannot move. So I tried to open my eyes, I couldn't. The only thing I could do is move my finger. After a lot of focus and trying to move something, I managed to move my finger. But it didn't help because it was covered with a sheet that they were operating on, so nobody could see it. So from that experience, I know that even opening eyes, you already have starting the engine. You already are going. Because actually moving finger was easier than opening eyelids. So if it happens to you that you wake up, or you may just start meditating, and during meditation, all of a sudden you may feel that you are sitting next to someone, and when you look a little better, you will see that someone is you. But then you can move, but the one sitting next to you cannot move, because the body, robot, stays frozen when the consciousness is out. This is why it happens often to people that have experienced death temporarily during the surgery or accident, and their spirit leaves. There's a lot of talk about, when somebody dies for 3 days, spirit remains in there, so you should not cremate, you should not bury. This is nonsense. Spirit sometimes leaves even before the pain hits, when the accident occurs, because soul knows what's going on, and it is going to jump out before actually the hit occurs. Happens to people when they jump from a building. Very often they pass out before they even hit the floor, because the consciousness says, I'm out of here. So it's very interesting realizing the truth. Do meditate. It is good to meditate now. And when you meditate, just let your mind be free. Stop moving, lower your respiration, and try to even stop the respiration for long periods of time. The more you are relaxed, the lower frequency you achieve, the less oxygen you will need and less movement you will be able to do. You will not even be able to move your eyes. So don't be afraid. We are in this awakening process, and things are going to be happening to everybody. And as they happen, it's better to be prepared and to know without freaking out what's going on. Well, thank you for listening. Till next time, love you all. Namaste. God bless you.